Step into a world where your daily drink isn't a latte or a soda, but a wooden mug of warm ale with a faint aroma of fresh bread. A place where monks reign as master brewers, taverns buzz with gossip, and even a simple cup of mead can turn a quiet evening into an unforgettable adventure. Welcome to the Middle Ages, a time when drinking wasn't just a habit, it was a commitment. Today, we're diving into that unpredictable world to discover how medieval folks got wasted and explored their fascinating, sometimes questionable beverages. To understand medieval drinking culture, imagine a time when comforts were few and winters were long. Liquid refreshment wasn't just a treat, it was a necessity for hydration, warmth, and social bonding. Alcohol was woven into daily life. Children sipped watered-down ale, adults enjoyed stronger versions, and the church incorporated wine into sacred rituals. A feast without drink was unthinkable, and a home without a brewing pot felt incomplete. In the medieval world, alcohol was not a luxury. It was a tool of survival, a cultural symbol, and a dependable companion when clean water was scarce. Alcohol was an inseparable part of medieval life. Ale, the lifeblood of households, was thick, slightly sweet, flavored with herbs, and constantly brewed in kitchens. Mead, made from honey, water, and wild yeast, was celebrated by warriors, praised by poets, and served by nobles during long feasts. Wine symbolized refinement and prestige, produced in warm regions and imported to the north as a luxury, often spiced and displayed on noble tables. Herbal brews infused with mint, rosemary, heather, ginger, or flowers served as remedies for stomach aches or to aid sleep. Monastic brews, perfected by monks with meticulous attention to cleanliness and consistency, produced smooth, refined drinks that travelers would journey miles to taste. Brewing often began with barley, oats, or wheat. Brewers soaked grains in warm water until they sprouted, then dried them to create malt. For mead, honeycomb was crushed and dissolved into warm water. Wine depended on grape harvests, with each vineyard creating slightly different flavors. Clay pots, wooden tubs, iron kettles, strainers made from woven fibers, and ladles carved from hardwood made up the brewer's toolkit. The equipment looked simple, but skill turned ordinary ingredients into beloved drinks. Once grains were mashed and heated, brewers boiled the mixture with herbs, cooled it, and transferred it into barrels where wild yeast performed its slow magic. Mead ferments gently over weeks or months, developing layers of sweetness. Wine production involved crushing grapes, separating juice from skins, and storing everything in sealed casks. Despite the lack of modern science, medieval brewers knew how to read temperatures by touch, identify ready yeast by smell, and judge fermentation by the sounds of gentle bubbling. Peasants relied on ale, brewing lighter and quickly made versions in their homes, where almost everyone knew the basics of the craft, and sharing ale with neighbors helped strengthen the bonds within their small communities. Nobles, meanwhile, enjoyed wine and mead, storing imported barrels in their cellars as a display of wealth and connections. And during banquets, servants kept goblets full to maintain a lively atmosphere. Monks, who valued moderation, brewed some of the finest beverages. Their strict rules encouraged precision and balance, earning their ales a reputation for exceptional quality. And visitors respected monasteries not only for spiritual guidance, but also for the remarkable drinks they produced.
Taverns lit by flickering candles hosted travelers, merchants, and locals seeking warmth, with wooden benches filling quickly, and even a single roasted chicken sometimes shared among strangers as storytellers recounted heroic deeds or outrageous gossip. Seasonal feasts were grand spectacles filled with clinking cups, roasted meats, bread still warm from stone ovens, and musicians plucking lutes or tapping drums. And drinks flowed so freely that hosts often placed servants near barrels just to refill guests' mugs. Village gatherings were equally lively, as market days often ended with shared beverages where farmers exchanged news while sipping ale, and weddings brought entire communities together with endless mead and joyful dancing.
Some medieval customs feel bizarre to modernize. In parts of Europe, host and guest toasted by linking arms, an early version of an exaggerated cheers. In other places, drinkers placed small wooden charms or carved tokens into mugs for luck. Some villages even appointed an annual ale taster, whose job was to test local brews and declare which household made the best batch, a role taken very seriously. Occasionally, drinkers balanced apples on their heads during games or tried to recite tongue twisters after a tankard of strong ale. These small traditions brought laughter to even the coldest evenings.
Water sources were often contaminated. Wells could be tainted by runoff from farms. Rivers might carry waste from crowded towns. Boiling water required fuel, a resource not always abundant. Fermented drinks, even the mildest ones, were safer because the brewing process eliminated harmful microbes. People didn't articulate this scientifically, but they noticed patterns. Drink ale, stay healthy. Drink untreated water, risk illness. As a result, ale and diluted wine became efficient solutions to everyday hydration. Medieval medical theories blended observation with superstition. Many believed warm ales soothed the stomach. Spiced wine was thought to strengthen the heart. Honey-based drinks were praised for restoring vitality. Physicians wrote detailed lists describing which beverages suited different body types, an early attempt at nutrition, although not always accurate. Despite misconceptions, there was a real understanding that moderate drinking kept illnesses at bay during harsh winters.
Drinking games varied from storytelling challenges to clever wordplay. One game required participants to continue a tale without hesitation. A stumble meant taking another sip. Another involved guessing the ingredients in a newly brewed herbal ale. Medieval drinking culture wasn't just about getting tipsy. It was about community, comfort, creativity, and survival. People brewed with care, shared with generosity, and built traditions that strengthened their social world. Today, these customs remind us of the power of gathering together and celebrating life's small joys. Whether or not we raise a mug, the spirit of medieval hospitality still has something to teach us. Thanks for joining our journey into the Middle Ages. If you enjoyed sipping history with a dash of curiosity, like and comment for more medieval adventures.